I do remember as a child always having this fear of blackness. I think because I had internalised this sense of shame about my blackness, it had always been a preoccupation of mine. Nobody ever said, you don't fit in here, but you very much felt like your family was in some way different to the way everybody else appeared to be. I remember once when my mum came to collect me from school and my stomach just dropped. She called out my name and I turned away and I walked away. And she was really angry with me. She said, why, you saw me call out your name, why did you walk away? Children saw her speaking to me and they would ask me, is that your mum? Why is your mum white and you have dark skin? And I always felt growing up that I had to constantly explain that she was my mother, that we were legitimate in some way. I was born in Guyana, which is a country up the top of South America. We moved to America when I was about 9 or 10 months old, and then my parents separated. So I really grew up in Australia. I grew up in a single parent, only child family. And at the time, in Canberra in the 1980s, that family unit was quite unusual. I didn't see any other families that looked like mine. I think I just doubled down on my belief that we were inherently wrong, and there's a great deal of shame that comes with that. And I think perhaps that's one of the reasons why I found it so difficult to talk to my mum. My father was an absent figure. He was in America and had been in America since I was 9 months old. It wasn't until I was in my late 30s, and probably when I had my own child actually, that I really felt the need to start understanding what my heritage meant to me, what my sense of colour meant to me. I made an effort to start at ground zero and to find a relationship with my father as an adult on my own terms. Hi, Dad.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, very, very clearly.
Have you had your second jab yet?
Yes, I have. Yes, I had it just about a week ago.
Yeah. The first time that I met my dad was when I was 22 and I had flown to the States to meet him. I just walked up to him and I said, hi, Dad. And of course, he hugged me and he cried for about 2 minutes after not having held me in his arms for 2 decades or so. And it was the strangest feeling of familiarity. It was extraordinary. Yeah. We started having conversations about his life growing up in Guyana. Did it remind you of being back in Guyana?
Well, yes, back in Jamaica, actually, because when I was in college there, we had a steel band.
Awesome. Anecdotes about what his family life was like back in Guyana. And that became really important to me, not only because I wanted to own my heritage in a positive way and to understand it, but I wanted to have a sense of pride about my colour, and I wanted my son to be able to have access to his heritage and framed in a positive way that I think I missed out on when I was a child.
I'm thinking Felix would love it. I mean, he would just be in a wonderland.
Yeah, I can't wait to take him, actually.
So, which one belongs to you?
That's Felix over there in the black hat.
Ah, he doesn't look very much like you, so I wouldn't have picked it. Where are you
It's not always easy because, again, you're forced to explain yourself in a way that perhaps other families aren't. And I'll simply state the fact that, yes, Felix is my son.
Love when we call our Black Lives Matter. We're saying walk with us, raise your voice.
We see you, black child magic, your radiant black shine.
Love when we call out Black Lives Matter. We're saying
I feel that I'm ill-equipped to talk about race, but I'm glad that I have a child with different colour skin, and I'm proud that we have these kind of conversations in the house. Good reading. That was great, Bubby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Kat to join me.
I had always thought about the world through the written word, and I think that was also in part because I found it very difficult to express myself verbally. I think I was very anxious and introverted as a kid.
I've heard people who've read my work talk about how similar their experiences have been, and that's been so gratifying to know that I speak to other people's truths. The ironic thing, I think, is that the way that my family look now is the same as the way my family did when I was a child, in that for many people we don't make sense. We have a very mixed heritage. I have a stepdaughter who's 18. My stepdaughter's heritage is Malaysian Indian, and I have a son who is 8. My partner is German. So I still often get the same questions that were asked of me and my mother when I was growing up, but now because I have a very different sense of self and a positive sense of who I am, I don't feel that those questions are so much of an imposition anymore. I don't think anybody ever gets to choose their family as it ends up being or becoming, but on the flip side of that, I wouldn't want to have my family any other way, because they have helped me understand myself in a much more dimensional way. I think it's made us a stronger, tighter unit.